The night was eerie, and a thick shroud of fog enveloped the Ocean Voyager as it set sail, carrying its vast cargo across the treacherous waters of the vast Pacific Ocean. The crew members, a group of seasoned sailors who had weathered countless storms and navigated through the roughest of seas, couldn't shake the feeling of unease that settled in their hearts as they embarked on this routine journey. Whispers of old maritime legends, tales passed down through generations, seemed to cling to the very air they breathed, filling their minds with the haunting stories of ghost ships that had purportedly haunted these very waters for centuries, never to be seen again. As days stretched into weeks, the Ocean Voyager seemed to vanish from the radar, leaving behind a deafening silence where communication with the outside world was no longer possible. The authorities, concerned for the safety of the vessel and its crew, presumed the worst, that the ship had succumbed to the fury of a fierce storm, lost forever at the bottom of the unforgiving sea. Yet, in the darkest corners of their minds, they couldn't entirely dismiss the lingering possibility of something more sinister, something beyond the realm of rational explanation. The passage of time did little to diminish the lingering sense of dread surrounding the enigmatic disappearance. Families and loved ones of the crew members clung to hope, their hearts torn between seeking closure and the faint glimmer of faith that their dear ones might still be alive, awaiting rescue on some uncharted shore. However, hope began to wane, replaced by whispers of the inexplicable and the inexpiable. Stories emerged from sailors who claimed to have caught fleeting glimpses of a spectral apparition on moonlit nights, a ship that eerily resembled the Ocean Voyager, drifting aimlessly in the foggy distance, before vanishing into the mists without a trace. Rumors circulated, fanned by the wild imaginations of those who sought to make sense of the unfathomable. Some spoke of malevolent sea spirits, envious of the Ocean Voyager's grandeur and lusting for vengeance. Others muttered about cursed cargo that had awakened ancient wrath, forever dooming the ship and its occupants to wander in purgatory, never to find rest. The collective anxiety surrounding the ghost ship legend seemed to cast a pall over the entire maritime community. Superstitious sailors, once valiant and fearless, now crossed themselves and offered prayers to ward off the cursed fate that had befallen the Ocean Voyager. They spoke in hushed tones during long nights at sea, each creak of the hull and howl of the wind stoking their imaginations and sending shivers down their spines. Despite attempts to dismiss the tales as mere fables spun to entertain and frighten, there remained an unsettling undercurrent of fear and uncertainty among those who dared to sail these waters. For no matter how rational they might be, there was no escaping the haunting allure of the ghost ship's enigma, a chilling reminder that some mysteries defy explanation, and the oceans, vast and impenetrable, conceal secrets beyond the comprehension of mortal minds. Months had passed since the mysterious distress signal had been intercepted, yet its chilling echoes continued to reverberate through the minds of those who heard it. The fragmentary message, distorted by eerie sounds that seemed to emanate from the depths of despair, left the rescuers both perplexed and terrified, their imaginations running wild with visions of unseen terrors lurking in the dark. Rumors spread like wildfire through maritime communities, seafarers exchanging harrowing accounts of supernatural encounters that bore an uncanny resemblance to the ghostly distress signal. Sailors spoke of haunting whispers carried by the wind, spectral cries that pierced the silence of the night, and phantom shadows that danced upon the water's surface, tormenting those who dared sail these cursed waters. The salvage team, drawn to the source of the mysterious signal, embarked on a treacherous journey, guided by an insatiable curiosity mingled with a deep sense of concern for the vanished crew. As their vessel traversed the fog-laden expanse of the ocean, each creak of the ship's timbers seemed to mimic a mournful dirge, as if the very sea itself warned them of the peril that awaited. Upon reaching the designated coordinates, the salvagers were met with an otherworldly sight that defied all explanation. Emerging from the dense fog, the ghostly silhouette of the Ocean Voyager loomed before them like a spectral apparition, a haunting testament to the enigma that gripped the vessel. The once proud and mighty cargo ship, now a ghost ship adrift in the abyss, sent a chill through the hearts of those who beheld it, for it appeared to be a vessel lost between worlds, its physical presence melding with the ethereal. Stepping onto the derelict ship, the salvage team found an unsettling scene of abandonment, as if time had stood still in the wake of an unimaginable catastrophe. Personal belongings lay strewn about, a stark reminder of the crew members who had seemingly vanished into thin air, leaving behind the ephemeral traces of their existence. The air carried an inexplicable chill, and the temperature seemed to plummet with every step they took, leaving the salvagers to huddle closer for warmth and comfort, all the while acutely aware that they were not alone. As they delved deeper into the dark recesses of the Ocean Voyager, their flashlights casting flickering shadows upon the walls, they discovered strange symbols and ancient writings etched into the very fabric of the ship. These cryptic markings appeared to be the work of a hand from long ago, hinting at some arcane ritual or forgotten ceremony that had taken place aboard the vessel. Unnerved, they found logbooks containing the feverish scribblings of former crew members, detailing harrowing encounters with spectral entities and unexplainable phenomena that defied the laws of nature. With every entry they read, the sense of trepidation grew, and the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred. The crew members' accounts spoke of eerie whispers that seemed to rise from the very timbers of the ship, of unseen hands that tugged at their clothing, and of shadowy figures that appeared and vanished in the blink of an eye. The psychological toll on the crew became apparent as they documented the gradual descent into madness of their shipmates, driven to the brink by the malevolent forces that stalked the cursed vessel. With their nerves frayed and their resolve waning, the salvage team's once steadfast camaraderie began to falter. Whispers of superstitions once dismissed now clung to their minds like a dark cloud, sowing doubt and paranoia among the ranks. The very ship seemed to feed off their fear, as if the malevolence that had ensnared the Ocean Voyager sought to claim new victims, drawing them into its unending spiral of terror. As their flashlights flickered and died, leaving them in an inky abyss, the darkness seemed to take on a life of its own, suffocating and oppressing them with its weight. They could hear distant moans and creaks, as if the ship itself was alive with the anguish of trapped souls, yearning to be free from the curse that had imprisoned them in this nautical purgatory. The crew members, on the precipice of surrendering to the abject horror that enveloped them, clung to one another, their trembling hands forming a bond of solidarity against the unknown. Though their nerves were taut as violin strings, they knew there was no turning back. Their only choice was to press on, deeper into the heart of darkness, to uncover the truth behind the chilling legend of the ghost ship. Unsettled by the haunting silence that engulfed them, the salvage team pressed on with dogged determination, their footsteps echoing through the dimly lit passageways as they continued their unnerving exploration of the derelict vessel. The ship seemed to hold its secrets close, as if taunting them with glimpses of the unknown, a macabre dance of shadows and whispers that clung to the fringes of their sanity. Strange symbols adorned the walls like ancient hieroglyphs of a forgotten civilization, their meaning lost to time. They appeared to pulse with an eerie luminescence, casting an otherworldly glow that intensified the growing sense of unease within the crew members. Each intricate mark seemed to come alive, weaving stories of an arcane past, one that defied reason and logic, as if the vessel itself was a living canvas for an enigmatic artist of the unknown. Their minds teetered on the precipice of disbelief and acceptance as they encountered logbooks penned by former crew members. The pages chronicled the ship's descent into the clutches of the supernatural, the desperation of those who had borne witness to the horrors within, and the hopelessness that seeped into their souls like a pervasive fog. As they read through the feverish entries, the salvagers could almost feel the torment that had besieged the ill-fated crew, their own hearts pounding in sync with the palpable dread that imbued the words on the tattered pages. Descriptions of phantom apparitions gliding through walls, disembodied voices that whispered maddening incantations, and the feeling of being perpetually watched gripped them in a vice of terror. The tales spoke of crew members vanishing without a trace, as if the ship itself had swallowed them whole, leaving no trace of their existence except for haunting memories etched into the collective consciousness of those who remained. They recounted instances of crew members inexplicably drawn to the ship's darkest corners, as if lured by an unseen force that thrived on human vulnerability. A pervasive sense of coldness permeated the air, sending shivers down their spines and causing the hair on their necks to stand on end. It was as if the vessel had become a conduit for an ancient, malevolent presence, one that delighted in their fear, feeding off their emotions like a voracious beast. The salvage team's nerves were frayed, their senses heightened as they navigated through the labyrinthine passages of the Ocean Voyager. Every creak of the ship's timbers sent a jolt of adrenaline through their veins, and every flicker of movement at the corner of their eyes set their hearts racing. They couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched by unseen eyes, that something malevolent lurked just beyond the boundaries of their vision. Despite the mounting fear and apprehension, the team pressed on, driven by an insatiable need to uncover the truth behind the haunting legend of the ghost ship. They knew they were inching closer to the heart of the vessel's mystery, drawn inexorably into the web of darkness that ensnared them. As they delved deeper, the ship itself seemed to come alive, its twisted corridors shifting and changing as if guided by an unseen hand. It was as if the Ocean Voyager sought to disorient and trap them within its nightmarish labyrinth, ensuring they would never escape the clutches of its curse. Their flashlights, their only source of light in this abyss of darkness, flickered erratically, casting eerie shadows that danced upon the walls like malevolent specters. The flickering light seemed to reflect the state of their own minds, torn between the desire to flee and the determination to confront whatever malevolent force held the ship in its spectral grip. The tension among the team members reached a fever pitch as they faced the unknown with every step, their breaths coming in ragged gasps. The once stoic and rational salvage crew now found their beliefs tested, their resolve threatened by the very fabric of reality unraveling before their eyes. In this harrowing encounter with the supernatural, they had become unwitting players in a tale of horror that transcended the realm of ordinary human experience. The ghost ship had ensnared them in its haunting embrace, leaving them to grapple with the unsettling truth that some mysteries defy explanation and that the dark depths of the ocean conceal secrets that may forever elude the grasp of mortal minds. Unnerved by the unsettling silence that surrounded them, the remaining members of the salvage team mustered their courage and continued their relentless exploration of the cursed vessel. Their flashlights, now flickering even more erratically, cast eerie shadows that seemed to dance with malevolence on the walls, as if the very darkness of the ship was alive and taunting them. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the ghost ship, the crew members' nerves were taut like violin strings, their senses heightened to the slightest sound or movement. The air felt heavy with an unspoken presence, and their hearts pounded in their chests like drums of dread, anticipating what horrors lay ahead. Their journey through the twisted passages revealed a tapestry of sinister symbols and ancient writings that defied all comprehension. These strange markings seemed to whisper arcane secrets, evoking a sense of forbidden knowledge that sent shivers down their spines. It was as if the ghost ship had become a living tome of forgotten lore, a portal to realms beyond mortal understanding. As they delved deeper into the labyrinthine passages, they stumbled upon fragments of the ship's dark history, piecing together a puzzle of haunting encounters that defied reason and rationality. The logbooks they found, filled with the fevered accounts of the former crew, painted a vivid picture of torment and terror, a descent into madness driven by relentless spectral apparitions. The salvagers found themselves consumed by the nightmarish tales of crew members who vanished under inexplicable circumstances, lost to the insatiable hunger of the ship's ethereal inhabitants. The writings spoke of desperate attempts to escape the clutches of the cursed vessel, only to be thwarted by an otherworldly force that seemed to manipulate the very fabric of reality. As they read through the accounts, the crew members couldn't help but feel a sense of shared dread, a kinship with those who had come before them and borne witness to the unspeakable horrors that roamed these haunted decks. The crew's own reflections in the dim light seemed to mirror the weary faces of those long gone, hinting at the inevitable toll this cursed voyage would take on their own minds and souls. The haunting presence of the ghost ship seemed to intensify with every passing moment, as if it fed off their fear and desperation like a malevolent parasite. Whispers, distant and indecipherable, seemed to permeate the very air they breathed, taunting them with promises of untold secrets and doom. As they continued to explore, the ship's interior began to shift and morph like a living entity, confounding their efforts to navigate its treacherous depths. Walls seemed to close in, forcing them down paths they hadn't chosen, and doorways appeared where there were none before, leading them deeper into the heart of darkness. The crew members' nerves were frayed, their sanity teetering on the edge of an abyss. Every creak, every groan of the vessel seemed to mock them, whispering that they were mere intruders in this spectral realm, unwelcome guests trespassing upon the haunted domain of the ghost ship. Yet, amid the overwhelming fear and uncertainty, a spark of determination burned within the salvage team. They knew they had to confront the malevolent force that held the ship in its spectral grip, for there was no escape from the haunting allure of the ghost ship. They were bound by an unspoken duty to release the trapped souls and bring an end to the curse that held the Ocean Voyager in its thrall. With newfound resolve, they turned their attention to the ship's mysterious cargo hold, the epicenter of the haunting presence that had ensnared them. The air grew thick with an ominous energy as they approached the foreboding chamber, and a palpable sense of dread hung heavy in the stale air. The cargo hold, once a repository of mundane goods, now seemed like a repository of nightmares, its contents transformed into vessels of malevolent power. Ancient relics, cursed artifacts, and macabre statues adorned the dimly lit space, seemingly whispering of the long-forgotten rituals and forbidden rites they had witnessed. The crew members' breaths quickened, and a cold sweat formed on their brows as they inched closer to the heart of the haunting presence. Their every step seemed to echo like a thunderous drumbeat, reverberating through the ship and alerting the malevolent forces to their intrusion. As they approached a particularly foreboding idol, a gnarled and twisted figure, they could feel an oppressive force emanating from it, an aura of ancient malevolence that seeped into their very souls. It was as if the cursed artifact was a conduit to a world of darkness and despair, its malevolent power fueling the haunting presence that gripped the Ocean Voyager. The crew members hesitated for a moment, knowing that their fates were inexorably tied to the resolution of this enigmatic curse. The burden of their mission weighed heavily upon them, but they knew that this was the pivotal moment, the turning point that would determine whether they would escape the clutches of the ghost ship or become its eternal captives. With trembling hands, they reached for the cursed idol, fully aware that breaking the curse was a perilous task fraught with unknown dangers. The artifact seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, resisting their touch as if it was a living entity that fought to maintain its power. Gritting their teeth, they summoned every ounce of strength and determination they possessed, for they knew that only by returning the cursed artifact to its resting place on the long-forgotten island could they hope to free the trapped souls and escape the relentless grasp of the ghost ship. The crew members braced themselves for the final confrontation with the haunting presence, knowing that their journey was far from over. Their destinies intertwined with the enigmatic force that haunted the ship, they embarked on a treacherous quest, a desperate bid to break the curse that held the Ocean Voyager in eternal torment and release the tormented souls from their nautical purgatory. The haunting allure of the ghost ship refused to release its hold on them, and the salvage team was left with no choice but to face the wrath of vengeful spirits and the relentless darkness that awaited them. Whether they succeeded in their harrowing quest or joined the ranks of the vanished souls, the tale of the ghost ship would forever echo through maritime folklore, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurk beneath the waves and the mysteries that can never truly be laid to rest. With a renewed sense of purpose and the weight of the haunting presence pressing down upon them, the remaining members of the salvage team prepared to embark on their perilous quest. Their once steely resolve now tempered by the harrowing encounters within the ghost ship, they knew that the key to breaking the curse lay in returning the cursed idol to its resting place on the long-forgotten island. As they set out into the heart of darkness, the very atmosphere seemed to vibrate with an unsettling energy, like a symphony of malevolent forces conspiring against their success. The crew members clung to one another, forming a human chain to brace against the ethereal currents that threatened to drag them off course. With each step they took, the cursed vessel seemed to shift and rearrange itself, as if the ghost ship itself sought to thwart their escape. Doorways vanished, leaving only blank walls in their wake, and the path they had traversed moments ago became an unrecognizable maze. Their flashlights, though their only beacon in the oppressive darkness, faltered as if possessed by the very spirits they sought to escape. The beams of light flickered and danced erratically, casting unsettling shadows that seemed to taunt and mock their pursuit of freedom. As they journeyed deeper into the heart of the haunted vessel, the temperature dropped drastically, leaving them to shiver in the icy grip of the paranormal. Their breaths formed spectral mist as they fought to steady their nerves and their footing, the creaking hull beneath them seeming to echo with the mournful cries of the ship's lost souls. The haunting presence grew more palpable with every step, its malevolence threatening to envelop them like a suffocating fog. The crew members felt an unseen force pulling at their clothing, tugging them towards the very center of the ghost ship, where darkness swirled like a maelstrom. In moments of respite, they could hear faint echoes of spectral whispers, unintelligible but laden with a sense of urgency that further spurred them on. The words seemed to resonate deep within their souls, urging them not to falter in their mission, for the salvation of the trapped souls and their own lives depended on it. The crew members could feel the relentless eyes of unseen entities watching their every move, their very presence an affront to the restless spirits that had claimed dominion over the cursed vessel. They were acutely aware that they were mere intruders in this spectral realm, trespassing upon territory beyond mortal understanding. Yet, they pressed on, buoyed by a shared determination to bring an end to the ghost ship's haunting reign. Every creaking floorboard, every flickering light, and every ghastly apparition seemed to herald a malevolent challenge, testing their will to survive and pushing them to the brink of their sanity. The crew members' minds were clouded with doubts and fears, but they held fast to the hope that by breaking the curse, they could liberate the trapped souls and find their own way back to the world they once knew. They clung to the memory of sunlight on their faces, the warmth of home, and the embrace of loved ones, desperate to return to the world of the living. Their quest to locate the long-forgotten island was fraught with uncertainty, as the ship's shifting corridors seemed to deceive them at every turn. The very fabric of the ghost ship seemed to defy the laws of nature, bending and contorting in on itself like a living entity that reveled in their disorientation. Time became an abstract concept within the cursed vessel, the crew members losing track of the days that melded into a nightmarish continuum. Their sleep, when it came, was plagued with haunting dreams and restless visions of the haunting presence that sought to claim them as its own. Each member of the salvage team grappled with their own inner demons, battling the psychological toll of their encounters with the supernatural. They questioned their sanity and their reality, the line between waking and dreaming becoming blurred in the maddening depths of the ghost ship. Yet, in moments of quiet reflection, they found solace in one another's company. They reminded each other of their shared purpose, their unity against the malevolent force that sought to ensnare them. As they clung to this fragile sense of camaraderie, they realized that their survival depended not only on their individual fortitude but also on their collective strength. The haunting presence seemed to sense their resilience, redoubling its efforts to impede their progress. Unearthly winds howled through the ship's corridors, threatening to extinguish their flickering flashlights and plunge them into an abyss of darkness. As they persevered through these trials, a sliver of hope began to glimmer amidst the shadows. They knew they were drawing closer to their destination, their determination to break the curse burning brighter with every step. The crew members' hearts quickened as they spotted an eerie glow on the horizon, the long-forgotten island that held the key to their salvation. It loomed like a spectral beacon, guiding them through the oppressive darkness towards the possibility of escape. With newfound purpose, they pressed forward, overcoming each obstacle that the ghost ship threw in their path. Their faces were etched with weariness, yet their eyes held a fierce resolve, the kind that is born from confronting the abyss and daring to emerge victorious. As they finally reached the shore of the long-forgotten island, they could sense a shift in the haunting presence that had hounded them relentlessly. The oppressive energy seemed to wane, and an ethereal calm settled over the island, as if it recognized the significance of their arrival. The crew members gathered around the cursed idol, the artifact that had held them captive within the ghost ship's clutches. They knew that the moment of truth had come, the pivotal juncture that would determine the course of their fate and that of the trapped souls within the vessel. With trembling hands, they returned the cursed idol to its rightful place, a hallowed spot that had been chosen by ancient rituals long before the ghost ship's accursed voyage. As the artifact settled into its resting place, the island seemed to resonate with a profound energy, one that reverberated through the very core of the cursed vessel. The crew members watched with bated breath as the haunting presence that had tormented them for so long began to dissipate like a receding storm. Shadows that once danced with malevolence now retreated into the ether, and the atmosphere of the ghost ship shifted, as if shedding the weight of centuries of torment. An otherworldly calm settled over the Ocean Voyager, as if the trapped souls had finally found peace. The crew members could almost hear the faint echoes of ethereal whispers, a chorus of gratitude from the spirits they had set free. As the last remnants of the haunting presence faded, the salvage team knew that their mission was complete. They had faced the unspeakable horrors of the ghost ship and emerged triumphant, breaking the curse that had ensnared them. Their ordeal had tested their resilience and sanity, but they had discovered a strength within themselves that could defy even the darkest of nightmares. With the haunting presence lifted, the cursed vessel seemed to transform before their eyes. The once eerie and malevolent aura dissipated, and the ship's ethereal glow faded, leaving it as an ordinary, abandoned cargo vessel, a relic of maritime history with no hint of its chilling past. As the crew members set foot on the island once more, they felt a profound sense of relief and gratitude. They knew that they had been granted a second chance, a chance to return to the embrace of their loved ones, to rekindle their ties with the world of the living, and to share their harrowing tale with the world. The haunting allure of the ghost ship, with all its malevolence and enigma, would forever remain etched in their memories. But they had learned that some mysteries are meant to be confronted, that darkness can be defeated, and that courage and camaraderie can triumph even in the face of the most insidious horrors. As they sailed away from the island, the crew members knew that they would forever be changed by their encounter with the supernatural. They had witnessed the unfathomable, and the echoes of their haunted journey would forever linger in the back of their minds. Yet, as they turned their gaze towards the horizon and the boundless expanse of the ocean, they also knew that they had faced the abyss and emerged unbroken. The tale of the ghost ship would forever be etched into their lives, a reminder of the indomitable human spirit and the enduring power of hope even in the darkest of nights.